share with you about legacy. More specifically, it is a story about Ed's legacy. Ed grew up in a small rural town of about 700 people where everyone knew everyone. He grew up with a mom and a dad, a brother, 3 sisters, 2 sets of grandparents, seemingly normal, certainly by today's standards. He grew up in a house where every night his father came home from work, went to the local bar, and drank. He grew up in a house where every night his father would come home from the bar drunk. Ed grew up in a house where he never wanted to have friends over because he was embarrassed about something his father might say or might do. Ed grew up in a house where his father never saw him watch sports or sing at a music concert or attended church with him. Ed had a built-in excuse to fail. No one in his small town expected him to amount to anything. In fact, everyone said he would likely grow up and live his life much like his father. Everyone would then be able to say, well, of course, he was a product of his environment. No one thought that Ed had a chance to succeed, except one person, and that person was Ed. Ed chose a different path for himself. He chose a journey that would ultimately become his leadership legacy. Along with guidance from a high school football coach and teachers, his minister, his mother, and some grandparents, he made a conscious decision each and every day not to use alcohol. But his life went far beyond this choice. He chose each and every day to live his life in service to others, to provide an example for others. And without knowing the exact phrases, Ed modeled the way, inspired a shared vision, challenged the process, enabled others to act, and encourage the heart. For almost 59 years, Ed dedicated himself to be the best person he could be in everything he did. Ed Thomas, from Parkersburg, Iowa, was the state's most prominent high school football coach. He was recognized as the NFL High School Coach of the Year. He is the coach of 4 current NFL players. Ed was a teacher, a church leader, and a community hero. Around 8 a.m. on June 24th, a former football player entered the Appleton Parkersburg weight room where Coach Thomas and other AP athletes were beginning their morning routine of lifting weights. As 20 students watched in horror, this former football player pulled out a gun and fired numerous shots at Coach Thomas. Ed died a few hours later, and a small piece in thousands of hearts across the world died with him. How do I know so much about Ed's story? Well, for more than what he did, I knew Ed for who he was. He was a family friend who taught my husband, also a high school football coach, everything he knows about football. He was a leader who rallied the Parkersburg community to rebuild after last year's tornado devastated half the town. He was an inspiration who continues to teach my sons, young football players themselves, everything they know about character. Ed's brother Greg is one of my family's closest friends and is my son's godfather. Through his actions and through his words, Ed left a legacy of leadership. For Coach Thomas, wins and losses on the football field had nothing to do with athletic ability. They came as a result of what was more important to him, building leaders. Quoting Coach Thomas, he said, "I've always said my job is not to prepare our kids to be college athletes. My job is to make football a learning experience. There are so many things they can learn from being a part of our team that will help them be successful in life, as a father, as a member of a church, or a member of the community. There are so many intangibles that we can teach them that they can take with them." Ed lived, taught, and coached by this simple philosophy. Focus on the fundamental ingredients of success: faith, dedication, teamwork, and commitment, and the victories will come. The same holds true for the work we do as leaders. Invest in people, and the productivity will follow. Take care of people, and the results will take care of themselves. Build better leaders today, and they will lead us to a brighter tomorrow. Coach Thomas also said, I talk about leaders setting an example, the responsibility of being a leader, the idea of being a servant and a giver. I talk about standing up to do what is right when no one else will, and letting people know when they're doing something wrong. I explain the importance of being a role model, that leaders have to set the tone for others to follow. Jackie Robinson once said, a life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. Within hours following Ed's death, a memorial group was established on Facebook. As of last count, almost 50,000 people have joined that group. At Ed's visitation, an estimated 6,000 people waited up to 4 hours in line to pay respects to the legacy of Ed Thomas. This heartbreaking, senseless tragedy is a leader's call to action. For each of us to live, love, learn, and lead in such a way that when we die, 50,000 people are committed to carrying forward our legacy. Ed's legacy was shaped by the same lessons that we teach, that we learn, that we share through our community of Seton Hall University. We leave behind pieces of our minds, hearts, and spirits through our relationships, through how we lead, follow, and serve as an example for others, through the choices we make to do something that makes a positive difference in the life of another person every single day, and the ways we use our leadership gifts to live beyond mediocre. Learning Team 24 and Learning Team 27, you are blessed with awesome capabilities. It is your responsibility, it is your duty, and it is your obligation to lead at your personal best at every moment. If you don't, not only will you fail your Seton Hall University education, but you will fail yourself. And most importantly, you will fail those who will depend on your legacy to lead them when you're no longer around. How you shape your leadership legacy from here is up to you. If today were your last day, what legacy would your leadership leave behind? Ed's legacy is expressed by Kouzes and Posner, authors of one of the books we use, The Leadership Challenge in Maskell, which are the final words that I leave with you this evening. Of all the things that sustain a leader over time, love is the most lasting. It's hard to imagine leaders getting up day after day, putting in the long hours and hard work it takes to get extraordinary things done without having their hearts in it. The best kept secret of successful leaders is love. Staying in love with leading, with the people who do the work, with what their organizations produce, and with those who honor the organization by using its products and services. My friends, leadership is not an affair of the head. Leadership is an affair of the heart. With that, I wish you and your families lifelong learning. I wish you a lasting leadership legacy. And most importantly, I wish you love. Hazard set forward, lead on.